Well, welcome to Creighton's Right, and it has been an eventful week. I'm sure if you tuned in last week, we were just on the verge of the Canada Day celebrations, which we're here for, and all of the laughably predicted violence that the Ottawa Police Service was in town for, and not only the Ottawa Police, but they brought in the RCMP and they brought in the OPP just like they did in February, anticipating riots, mayhem, and chaos. None of it occurred. There was one incident, of course. We don't know all the details as of yet. I don't think we ever will because they involved one police officer. I'm not sure from which force he was from, putting his knee on a protester's or a demonstrator's neck, much like what happened to George Floyd in the United States. And we all know what happened after that. It erupted, or riots erupted for months afterwards, billions of dollars in damage, accusations of widespread racism in the United States police forces, and of course, calls to defund the police. Well, we're not calling for any defunding of the police, but we are calling to depoliticize the police because obviously they're working for Ottawa Mayor Jim Watson and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. But what we're talking about today is the incredible injustice that has been committed against Tamara Lich, who today was remanded back to jail without bail by Justice of the Peace Harris. And this story is incredible. And I am beyond mad. I'm furious about this. And I was out at the Ottawa courthouse this afternoon at 1:30 to witness this, along with about 50 other supporters. There might have been more. Yeah. And I tell you, this was a blockheaded decision. It was a blockheaded decision. David Creighton for the Western Standard. We just had a shocking verdict here from the judge. He has remanded Tamara Lich back to jail, denied bail for a really ridiculous incident here. She was at an awards ceremony and had a picture taken with another Freedom Convoy member, and they're using that to essentially put her back in jail. She has really become a political prisoner, and this is something I think that most Canadians are going to find completely inexcusable. There are people here that are crying, and I wish I could get closer, but we are, as I speak, I can't get far from another cell phone that I'm using as a hotspot because literally the entire country is down. My server, which is Rogers, is down across the country, and the internet is gone in most places, and it's just literally chaos around the world right now, everywhere. Yes, well, I want to apologize for the sound quality there, but as I was trying to say in that clip, it is chaos today because Rogers, one of the major internet servers, which I'm unfortunate enough to be a client of today, is down across the country. And it's just like the footprint is overlaying everything today. Bank machines, debit machines, everywhere. And it's just impossible to get anything done. It's a miracle I got anything done today. I got a column written. I'm getting this done through, a hot spot right now, and it's just incredible. But the fact that, Tamara Lich was rearrested in Medicine Hat, flown back to Ottawa for this hearing is absolutely ludicrous to begin with. You wouldn't believe they would do this to a woman who's basically a law-abiding person with no aim to break the law. She is someone who's with no criminal record, with no designs to be a criminal. And what did she do to begin with? She was involved in a peaceful protest. And, you know, let's proceed to the next clip, please.
At the beginning of the truckers' protest here in Ottawa.
I was here too, yeah.
And my friend here, he came at sometime near the end of February, I believe.
February 22nd.
Just after the cops got violent and kicked everybody out.
Yeah.
And here we are still fighting 5 months later to try to free a political prisoner that shouldn't even be in jail right now. She shouldn't even have to go through this stuff. And here we are fighting to get her released. And all these people that are here that you see are supporters of Tamara Lich.
And I was interviewing them before the verdict. One of them is from Edmonton, Alberta. The other is from Grand Prairie, Alberta. And they've been here actually since February. They came here for the initial Freedom Convoy demonstration protest against mandatory vaccines in February. And they ended up staying here. So they were, you know, they came here in the brutal winter we have in Ottawa, and they're here in this beautiful July weather. So they came here, and they just can't believe what's going on here. And they really believe that Tamara was rearrested just before Canada Day in a deliberate incitement to get people angry and revved up before Canada Day to incite the crowd to violence. And of course, it really didn't work, because the Canada Day march, it was a march. It wasn't even a protest. People came out to march and they had a good time. There was no violence except on the part of the police. And it was a fantastic event. And, you know, I was there for that march. I would say about 7,500, maybe 10,000 people were there. Probably the biggest event the Freedom Convoy people have had, and it was a real success. Today was a real black day for Canadian justice. Why aren't they going across country with Canada-wide warrants for the rapists, the pedophiles, the murderers, and the people that they're letting out after 3 days? You know, and this Justice of the Peace has the gall to say that this is going to inspire Canadians to have confidence in the justice system. I mean, this is absolute BS, absolute nonsense. Putting this woman, a law-abiding woman, behind bars again is inspiring confidence. I hardly think so, because most people are going to say, I mean, what has she done wrong? Why are we putting this woman behind bars again? And this is supposed to be inspiring me to have confidence in the justice system. I mean, big deal. This is not in doing anything to make me feel better about the Canada justice system. It's making me feel that that the justice system might be politicized, because Justin Trudeau wants this woman behind bars. And this is the title of my column, is that putting Tamara Lich behind bars proves that she's Trudeau's political prisoner. That's all this does. As I said earlier, this is a blockheaded decision. Because even if you think she did wrong in organizing this Freedom Convoy in February, even if you think that this Freedom Convoy should not have happened, all they've done is made a martyr out of her by putting a law-abiding citizen behind bars, by going out to Medicine Hat, Alberta, flying her all the way back to Ottawa, putting her behind bars again. This is really a stupid decision, because they are making her a victim, and they're really undermining their own cause, because these politicians, these bureaucrats, these liberals are so bloody stupid. They don't even think their strategy or their tactics through from day to day, from month to month. And they think they're being so smart here, but they're not being very smart. And these protests are going to grow and continue to grow, because they are feeding the fire with stupid moves like this. And you know what? These protests have to grow, because you know what the liberals are up to now? They're talking about getting the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccine, every 9 months for the rest of your life, for the rest of eternity. As far as they're concerned, they love it because it feeds their authoritarian ways. They're talking about another wave coming in the fall. They're talking about 3 or 4 doses now being what they call being sufficiently vaccine. It's no longer 2 doses, it's going to be 3 or 4. So it's never going to end, folks. And they don't want the pandemic to end, because as long as the pandemic continues, their authoritarian ways can continue. And watch out for it, folks. It's going to be a lockdown in September. I'm predicting this. It's not just going to be Ontario. It's going to be across the country again. Trudeau's going to be loving it. And when Tamara Lich, when the news came out, everybody was standing around, you know, with their phones. Everybody was waiting for the news, and I tell you, people cried, you know, and people were really upset because they love this woman. They love this woman because she put herself, her reputation, everything she has on the line for this. And, you know, as we see the protests in the Netherlands right now that are spreading throughout Europe, to Germany, to Spain, and Italy, elsewhere, I hope we're prepared to do that in Canada and say, no, the Liberal government's not going to take my land away in the name of climate change and this hopped up crap about land creating the climate catastrophe. This is all nonsense. This is all, I call it the great leap forward in slow motion. This is Mao Zedongism in slow motion. This is bloody communism in the guise of environmentalism. And this is all it's been about. And they're going to use the pandemic. They're going to use climate change. They're going to use all of these things to take your rights away, to take your land away, to take your freedom away. And this is what's happening. And if you don't stand up like Tamara Lich did and say enough is enough, you're not going to force me to take a vaccine. You're not going to force me to give my land away, which is what's coming next. You're not going to censor me on the internet. You're not going to censor me in terms of what I can view on the internet. What is news? What is disinformation? What is misinformation? What is hate speech? What is lies? What is truth? I will decide that, not the Liberal government, not the heritage minister, not Justin Trudeau, Mr. Blackface, who calls everybody a racist but himself when he's obviously the one acting like the racist all his life. So we are going to be here every week reminding people that there's Tamara Lich and there's Pat King in jail as political prisoners of this Liberal government, and they should be released. Because they're only there because Justin Trudeau disagrees with their politics. They have not done anything deserving of jail time. They protested policies, political policies that they disagreed with. And there's a lot of people walking the streets right now who should be in jail and are not. So it's time for people who care about this country, about their rights, about their liberty, about their citizenship, to join those people who are on the doorsteps of the Ottawa courthouse in protest, in solidarity, and to say enough is enough. And I understand they're going to be getting together to protest next week and to remind people that Tamara Lich is still in jail. And I will be telling you on my Twitter page where that event is going to be. So please, it's David Creighton, and I will remind you that my YouTube channel is up and running. Please, it's Creighton's Right with David Creighton. Have a look, join up. I need 100 subscribers as soon as possible. Anyway, I'm dead tired. It's been a long day. It's been a long week, but I'm going to keep up the fight, and I need your help. I need you to join me in that fight. Thank you for your attention and your support. And please read my columns every day in the Western Standard, and please support the Western Standard by supporting them with your membership and your subscription. It's an independent, conservative-minded voice of freedom. It's not only a voice of the West, it's a voice of Canada. And it can be your voice. And it is your voice. And I'm there every day. Thank you for reading. And I'm David Creighton for Creighton's Right.